Hi, and welcome to Telly Talk. I'm Liv.
And I'm Ben.
And on this episode, you'll hear our carefully considered and not at all random thoughts on a show we like. There will be spoilers.
We're giving ourselves an age rating of 15 and above, but you're welcome to make up your own mind. Listener discretion is advised.
And if you're liking what you're hearing, please do rate, review, and subscribe.
You can reach out to us on our socials. We're at TellyTalkPod on Blue Sky and on Facebook. And our email address is tellytalkpod@outlook.com.
So we are back, Armchair Experting, Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, Episode 28.
Ooh.
This is the 6th dinner party, and it's drama.
This is the most tense dinner party I've ever seen.
Yes. Yeah, even in the opening moments of the episode, you can just feel it coming.
Yeah. I feel it coming.
No.
I feel it coming.
We're not having any singing. No, you need to stop. Jamie and Dave. These are our headline act this time round.
I'm sad.
Me too.
I'm right and sad.
It's very sad. Not that Dave seems to have got that message.
Yeah, the producers were brutal sending her in first.
I know.
On her own.
I do appreciate that she was talking to herself.
I liked her even more. I was just like, I wish I had that level of confidence to just babble to myself.
I think I would do that, so I guess I was just sort of aligning myself with Jamie.
You would do that.
Yeah.
That's probably why I appreciated it. It reminded me of you, Liv.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, because she was talking about, like, I'll talk to the pot plant, I'll talk to my imaginary friend,
Yeah.
and you converse with all sorts of animate and inanimate objects.
Yes, I do.
But every dog that we have had you talk to regularly as if they're a fully sentient conversational human.
I just don't understand why people wouldn't do that.
The lack of response.
Yeah, but...
I don't have voices in my head. I'm all the voices.
Well, yeah, my head is very loud. Anyway, we have a lovely entrance from Athena and Adrian. Athena especially, she runs straight over to Jamie, which I thought was really lovely. And Jamie needed that.
Yes, and she does say that her and Adrian have been talking about their bed being big enough to share with Jamie. And I'm like, yeah, I bet Adrian's been talking about that.
I'm just choosing to skip over that because, yeah, I mean, that does raise some more questions.
It was funny, if a touch ungrateful, of Jamie to say, like, if I come to the point where I'm having to lean on you two, it's a scary day.
Yeah, but you know what I like is that she said that to their face and they were like, yeah?
Yeah.
You know they're good friends when you can do that.
Oh, yeah. I'm beginning to feel like I might owe Adrian an apology.
Go on then.
I said might.
Right, okay.
I'm beginning to.
I was too keen.
Yeah. A la Dave, I've started to think about it.
You're thinking about
I'm thinking
that.
about it.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No.
Jamie describes having real feelings for a fake relationship. Yeah, even Mel clocks that.
Well, everyone, and I mean everyone, is like, who's this guy? Because that's not Dave.
Yeah, it's not the Dave they know.
Imagine if they found someone equally tall and tattooed to doppelganger him. What are the odds? But yeah, it's really stark.
Yeah, because Jamie's feeling completely alone, and the support she gets from the group, while it's lovely, she wanted that from him.
Yeah. And she gets nothing. He's like a grey wall.
Yeah.
And it's that stereotype that is out there of men just going,
The thing is,
dunno.
when he arrives and the rest of the guys sort of gather around him, he gives them more empathy than he's given
Yeah.
Jamie.
Although he also says, yeah, we're good.
I know. What relationship are you talking about?
I mean, that's Jackie and Ryan levels of denial.
Yeah. But we see them then at the table a bit later on, and she is spilling her heart. And he comes across as completely emotionless. And even when they're doing the talking heads, he's not giving them anything.
I think his neutral, I don't want to show anything in case I get shouted at face is very similar to most people's condescending face.
Oh.
He was sort of like, and because he's very tall, he's looking down and he was slightly puckering his lips and he was keeping his eyes and his face as neutral as possible. And I think it came across as detached and aloof.
It did.
I don't think he was. I think he just had no idea how to make his face look.
I think he's just shutting down.
Well, yeah. I don't think we can discount the, oh Jesus, Jamie is going to shout at me.
But she doesn't. And
No.
actually, that shows quite a lot of growth in 1 week.
I think it shows you how hurt she is and how it's so much sadness, not rage.
But, well,
I think it starts to move.
no, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say I still feel that without the lesson last week, that she would be acting with more rage.
Yeah.
So let's give her some credit here. But he is extremely disconnected from his feelings. And when the group question him on how he's feeling and why this has only come up now, he says, I had to think about it. And that's a clear indication that he is not emotionally mature.
Yeah, because I think everyone's like, so you haven't thought about it up to this point in the show that you're on about getting married? And
But really, with feelings, you're meant to feel them. I know this because I'm trying to do it myself. You're not really meant to think about your feelings. And this is very much where Dave is. He hasn't really paid much attention. And now that it's been brought to his attention, he's given it some thought and he's decided it's not there.
Yeah, it's literally, well, now that you mention it, I guess I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
And that feels mad to, like, your average person. But I guess if that's his relationship with his emotions, that must be challenging.
Yeah. And it is somewhat baffling because we sort of end with them not really knowing what the hell he's thinking because he talks in the past tense, but then he switches to having hope and seeing the relationship progressing. I mean, we just don't know what's going on for him.
Yeah, I feel like it might have been that he felt pressured again to say the right thing because the group rally round and are like, look, we're not giving you shit. We're really sad for this. Do you want to? And like they started saying, do you want to be in this relationship? And that transition, the last sort of challenge was, I think it was Jeff saying, I think you do want to be in this relationship, very much leading him. And if we've seen him have a tendency towards saying the right thing, maybe this is what he's eventually got to.
This is his comfort zone. And he's sort of going back there.
I think he just wanted to escape from the grilling.
He did say a lot of times that he was being attacked and that he felt he was under attack. And yeah, so maybe he did switch tacks just to get people to stop talking about it.
I feel like he did misplay when he said, it hurts me for you to say that it's all been
Even
a lie.
the experts didn't like that.
Yeah.
Wrong move.
Like, yeah. Not a great move. But to be fair, again, it hurts me a bit to say, but I will give credit to Adrian. He will ask the difficult questions.
Yeah.
Like, he will say the stuff that no one else wants to say.
And you can see him thinking about it, going, yep, I'm going to go for it.
Yeah,
Respect to Adrian.
I am slowly being won round on Adrian, which I never thought I'd say, because it doesn't change the fact that his behaviour at the beginning of this show and the first however many episodes that we reviewed was really bad, like abusive. But we've had no evidence of that so far. Now, whether that's an edit or not, but Athena's obviously accepting how he is right now. The group all seem to like him, apart from Dave. But that's mainly because he's calling Dave out.
Well, I don't think Dave has moved into dislike of Adrian.
He called him a snake.
Oh, yeah.
It's not universal positive appeal.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But, like, I'm not fully there. Like, I've seen too much to be fully on board. But he's very insightful about other people's relationships and willing to say stuff.
Yeah.
And you made an interesting point, because one of the things that I find most challenging with him is his snide smile.
Yeah.
And you said that maybe that's a defensive mechanism.
Yeah, so it was fairly early on when they were doing a talking head before even the cocktail party. And he said something really serious. And then he smiled, and I went, oh, you're so condescending. Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
I think that smile is insecurity.
Yeah, because he'd said something like, it was about Dave saying like, oh, he's not being a nice guy. Well, I mean, he probably is a nice guy, but he's not being a nice guy here. He's being really mean. And then he did his dickhead smile.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he's being a dick. No, he's not.
Yeah.
But the smile makes me think he is.
Yeah, I just don't think he's aware of that body language.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He has been a dick. But the smile makes it worse.
Yeah.
So maybe he is learning through this process. But again, it's hard to say that when we're only seeing an edit and, you know, they're doing okay by comparison to everyone else.
Yeah. And for me, a lot of my issue with Adrian previously was that smile. Like, he'd say something and then smile like he got away with it or something. And for me, that just compounded the issues I was having.
Yeah.
And so seeing that smile in a different light, it would be interesting to re-watch with a new perspective. Yeah. Well, just, yeah. All right.
Maybe we could use AI to edit the video for us.
But Athena and Adrian, we don't see much of them together this episode, but we do see a lot of them. And actually, even them being separate, we see them united in their values. They're both supporting and rallying round their friends. So I thought that was quite nice.
Yeah, they seem pretty united. I'm starting to be concerned that Adrian might actually be a better expert than the experts. He's sort of becoming a relationship guru for the group.
I'm thinking that he has done a lot of learning, and yeah, maybe he's overtaken them.
He's like, guys, I have done all of these things wrong. Learn from me.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how it goes.
Well, and maybe he's had like a tremendous amount of therapy through this process, and now he's had more experience than the experts.
Yeah, maybe. Or we are assuming a lot.
Even Jeff at one point says, I'm a mere mortal. And I think he might be a mere mortal in comparison to Adrian as well at this point.
No. Let's not get carried away.
Okay, I'm on this train.
Wow, you are drunk with Adrian, and I don't like it.
Okay, let's move on. Karina and Paul.
So they're the couple that I have the equal second amount of notes on.
Okay.
Because they were quite involved in some stuff.
Yes, they were, because their stuff gets intertwined with Athena, but it is also still something between them. So it's a really interesting situation.
Because Karina got her Lauren on because she was a bit, very condescending and judgy about Athena's twin sister, who it turns out dated Paul in the past.
I know, it's very complicated. But we don't actually hear Karina say this.
No.
What comes out, we find out, is that Paul has included in his letter that he worked on with Athena that Karina spoke badly of Athena's twin sister, which obviously and rightly upsets Athena, and she wants an apology from Karina, which Karina's willing to give. The issue is that Karina had said that to Paul in confidence. It was a pillow talk situation, not meant for anyone else. And as she explains, it came from a place of insecurity and jealousy.
I'm getting the sense that Paul doesn't think it's an issue.
I'm getting the sense that he wants to even up the score. Because when he got jealous and insecure about her sexual past, he punched a wall, and there was this whole thing dedicated to him and his behaviour. And now she's feeling, or has felt, insecure and jealous, and has done something that he deems as wrong.
Yeah.
And he's bringing her out.
Yeah, I found it really condescending and patronising the way that he was talking to her after she concluded the Athena situation. Because she was trying to express, like, why won't you acknowledge that it wasn't okay that you threw me under the bus?
Yeah.
With a private conversation. No matter how wrong that was, it was in confidence. And he's like, can't we just draw a line under it where you've acknowledged you were wrong and we move on?
Well, actually, he wanted to talk about it and he was pressing her. As you said, he was using that language. And when she turns it round and says, yeah, but why did you say something out loud to the group that was in confidence? Then he wants to shut it down.
Yeah.
When it's not going to go his way, he doesn't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, and in his talking head, he's like, it's not like I said it in front of the whole group. And it's like, well, you might as well have done, because you said it to the person who's going to be most hurt by it.
Yeah.
And shock, they've mentioned it.
Yeah. But fair play to Karina because she does apologise, and fair play to Athena because she hears her out. And I think actually they end up in a really good place.
Yeah,
I cannot say the same for Karina and Paul.
I'm not his biggest fan. I'm not sure he has a great moral character, in my opinion.
I am coming round to that way of thinking as well. I used to really rate him, but maybe them as a whole, and I'm seeing some stuff that doesn't make me happy now.
Well, the thing is, I think we like them when we didn't see much of them and they didn't have challenges. Like, we called this out early doors, didn't we? Like,
true.
they were strong, but they'd never had any challenges. As soon as any challenges hit them, they've been a bit of a shit show.
Well, she is now really questioning their whole relationship because she can't trust him.
No, like, there's a sanctity of confidence in a relationship where you talk about things in a way that's unguarded, and you don't always say the greatest things in the world, and you say things with unvarnished, and you get a bit carried away. I might be talking about myself. But there is an expectation that you don't throw each other under the bus.
Yeah.
You know, there's an understanding that things are for our ears only. And to not have that awareness is a massive red flag, I think. Because how can you ever be your authentic self with someone if you're constantly worried they're going to immediately go to someone and be like, oh, you wouldn't believe what Ben said.
Yeah, that is a really, really good point. And I think as well, there is an element of sometimes you just say stuff to fill the gap, or because you're sort of playing around with words or whatever it is, because you're feeling insecure. That doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you meant what you said.
Yeah.
Or that there's any greater depth to it. Like, it can just be words.
Yeah, honestly, I'm constantly glad that we can edit our podcast before it goes out, let alone the conversations you and I have off mic.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to get worse for them when we get to the commitment ceremony next time.
Yeah, I think he's been trying to position it as, because he said, are you always going to put your walls up whenever I come to you with a concern? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's not the point she's making, my friend.
No.
You have completely whiffed on this one.
Yes, but the experts have not.
No, I think, how long before she just goes, I am done?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what's going to happen. I'm going to predict.
Go on,
you
then.
ready for a hot prediction live?
Okay.
I think they will struggle along until the final vows. And that's when she's going to be like, you know what, on reflection, you seem like a big old bag of problems.
I think she has more integrity than to plan that out.
Well, I didn't say that she would plan it. I think it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if it happens...
Then you'll admit I was right?
No, because I don't... What you're saying implies planning and forethought and revenge.
No, I don't think so. I think she'll try, and when faced with the reality of going out into the real world, because between now and then, I think we're going to be having the stay at home task, like week, where they live with each other for a few days. And I have a funny feeling that that experience, coupled with the impending reality of actually, this is real now, I think that'll make her go, ooh, I don't know that I can do this. Well,
let's wait and see.
Hot take. I'm sensing you feel that is a very cold take.
I'm really annoyed at you.
Why are you annoyed at me?
Because I still feel that that's annoying.
You're just angry because I was right about Jamie and Dave, and I'm with you. I'm angry I was right about that.
Yeah,
I'm slowly starting to accept I might have been a bit wrong about Adrian. Maybe. Ish.
Let's just move on. This is too hard.
Rhea and Jeff. A softball one.
Yes, that's much easier. They are playing hand games at the table. They are having a joint talking head, which we really don't see very often. And you said it, and I'm going to say it. They're having fun.
They are.
So this is great.
Yeah, they're so confident and secure in their relationship. It survived a jackieing. In fact, it survived multiple jackieings.
Yep.
He got paired up with Jackie for 3 days and live with her, which is going to make anyone appreciate Rhea more.
Yeah.
I just think if they can survive Jackie, they might as well, I was about to say they might as well be married now. They are married now. But I think of all the couples that I've seen on any reality show like this, they seem the most authentic, and I want them to work out. I will be so sad if they don't, because they just seem so real.
Yeah, connected.
And I don't want to say it's because they weren't brought together by the show. But what does it say that the one couple that seem like they might be like properly, genuinely healthy are the ones that were already a proper couple once before?
Okay, but there's also Karina and Paul.
They had a one-night stand. Karina and Paul had one date before.
Anyway, Rhee and Jeff are very calm and measured, and they're able to give feedback to others, and that is respected by the others.
Oh, yeah.
And they do that not just in this actual feedback week, but at the dinner table as well.
Yeah, because even Jackie, when he calls her out, and we'll touch on it later with the Jackie and Ryan segment, but he calls them out very directly, and she doesn't go at him. She goes to talking with Ryan about it, and that says a lot.
It does. Another couple that are doing well are TJ and Beth. We don't see much of them.
No.
We see a fair amount of TJ. He's being very supportive. He goes straight to Jamie, and he again goes and speaks with Dave, and he's quite honest. He says, like, I spoke to Jamie and now I'm here and I want to hear your side. And I think that's really nice of him.
Yeah, both he and Beth just seem like really nice stand-up people. And they still give good reaction shots,
Absolutely.
Which is nice. So...
Yeah, and I've called TJ out for being supportive, but Beth is as well. She goes straight to Jamie and she rallies round.
Yeah, I think they seem like good people. They haven't brought any drama. The preview of the couch session doesn't necessarily seem like it's going great, but we only saw a very brief snippet.
Yeah, I think that's a red herring.
You think that might be her referencing I thought that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully when they shuffle to the sofas, we'll hear triumphant music. But yeah, they didn't really factor in a huge deal apart from being lovely people.
Yeah, and their reactions, of course.
Well, yeah, ovs.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
For?
A jackaneeing.
What?
Racky or Giant?
Okay, these are not the names you came up with before.
What did I come up with?
I don't remember, but these are brand new.
Rai Superfly.
I'll accept
and
that.
The Jackster.
Oh.
The Jackanator.
Well, Jeff gets paired up with Jackie, as you've said.
Poor bastard.
And the feedback that he says he gave her is, your relationship is going nowhere.
He is. Like, I wrote down that he is surprised they're still together.
Yeah.
And as it went along, he became more and more until I crossed it out and wrote astonished.
Yeah.
At one point, he is so baffled by their relationship, he creases up into laughter and just collapses under the view of the camera, like disappears stage bottom.
Yeah, it just makes no sense.
He's like, how are they together? They should hate each other, but they're coming in here holding hands. And he's just laughing. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's par for the course with Jackie and Ryan.
The thing that gets me is that we hear from Ryan, because she reads out 2.5 pages of negative stuff in her letter. And he says, no, I've got some feedback. And then he sort of sweeps it under that rug of theirs. And he seems to save it for the dinner party. It gets brought up by Jeff. And he says, I've got feedback. But then we don't hear it.
I think what he meant is, I've been given feedback, because she starts off by saying it was a good thing because I was able to give him feedback and I've seen action taken. Like, there's no understanding that there might be discussion about it. It's just, here are things you need to do and fix it. But I think I understand why it comes out at the dinner party, because I think I've been there in a relationship where there isn't constructive communication and one party is, shall we say, somewhat overbearing. Like, I've been there. And I've been the party which doesn't feel their voices heard. And sometimes it just spills out in a environment where other people are validating you. And you've got backup and you feel safer. And you feel like you're emboldened to push back.
Yeah, but he doesn't push back. He doesn't say anything.
Well, he does challenge things like saying, I don't want a trad wife, that's not me. And obviously we've seen a cut. He challenges more than he has been, because it seems like Jackie is completely oblivious to his discomfort up until this point. Because we see her all throughout up until we get to their discussion at the table throughout the episode. You've got Jackie in her talking head going, we're a role model couple for all the other couples. We don't deal with any shit. We just talk about it. We're so happy. We're the happiest we've been, and giggling. Intercut with Ryan going, I was really hurt by that, and it's all bullshit, and it's really mean. So she's deluded, and I don't think he feels he can voice it.
I don't know.
That's the only appropriate answer to Jackie. I
don't know. Oh my God. This might be helped in the commitment ceremony.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of pushing this back. Like, you can see that every other person is done with Jackie's shit.
Yeah.
I think some of them like Ryan for whatever reason. Don't get me wrong. I think Ryan is a massive douche canoe. Like,
That's a new one.
Yeah. He's just a bro. There's something dislikable about him. There's a lot of things dislikable about him. But Jackie is a whole other mess of nonsense. And it's just, their relationship's doomed. I'm astonished they're still here, along with Jeff. But Jeff's pointing out, like, the experts have got no idea what's going on, so what chance have we all got?
Yeah, and actually maybe that's what's happened. The experts have gone, we don't know, we're checking out, they can sort this out themselves, and so that's why they're not diving in with these two.
Yeah, as long as there's not a massive blowout.
Yeah.
But I suspect that it's going to come up on the couch, unless she's managed to push and bully Ryan into submission in that time.
Well, we'll find out.
They didn't bring their A-game fun times, but I did appreciate production cutting in between their talking heads so that we could see how deluded Jackie is.
I liked how they were cutting in during some of the really high emotional stuff with other people, and she was just eating her dinner.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't care.
Do you know, that was the thing. I turned to you and I thought I'd come up with a stunning revelation. You were like, yeah, of course. Whenever people are challenging other people's relationships or standing up for bad behaviour or anything, it's never Jackie. Jackie only weighs in on her own relationship because she doesn't give a shit about anyone else. Ryan weighs in on other people. Like, he's weighed in for Clint and stuff like that. But Jackie never does because she's only interested in herself.
Yeah.
And maybe Ryan because he's associated with her for the moment.
Well, our final couple are Elliot and Veronica.
Would you say this is going well?
I would not. No, Ben. No.
I mean, it seems like it was going well with Dave.
And it seems like Elliot had quite a nice time with Ree. Now, she says that he knows that she's into her health, so he bought loads of fresh fruit in for her when he knew that she was coming.
Is that him being into her, or is it just him being a nice guy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's just really considerate. Like, I thought that was lovely. And we saw a little clip of him saying, oh, I'm so glad I'm with you. I need help.
Yeah.
Like, he's really respecting her.
Because I think he said, like, I look at Ree and Jeff as, like, a role model couple, as aspirational.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, we all do, mate. That's amazing.
Yeah, and he says that he got some tips from her and he tried to implement them and it all went wrong.
That's because Veronica just seems to be a nightmare.
Yeah, but you know what? Her face lit up when Dave entered when they were having cocktails.
Yeah. Are we having Sierra 2.0?
Yes, I think we are.
Because it's Adrian that calls it out at
Yeah.
the table. And I'm
He's
like,
seen it before.
Yeah, you'd know. You know how it go. But yeah, it's really interesting. And that did make me think, like, actually, I've seen that happen before with people where suddenly a relationship seems fine. One of them meets a new person and it all goes weird. And maybe that's what's made him doubt.
Dave.
Yeah, maybe Dave's gone, oh, I'm not feeling what I should feel for Jamie, particularly in contrast to...
Because in 3 days I felt it for Veronica.
Yeah.
What's interesting, as you say, Adrian brings this up to the group at the table. And then Elliot backs this up by saying, all you could talk about, Veronica, when you got back was Dave. And then she rebukes this with absolute disdain.
Methinks she does protest too much.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, it would be... Obviously, we've not seen any of it, so it would have been interesting to see their interaction on... They didn't even show it in the preview.
I still think I might go back and watch this week when we're done.
Okay.
Like, it just seems like we missed a lot.
I wonder if it's all going to come up. I mean, for all we know, we'll get to the end, we'll watch the reunion, and it will turn out that Veronica and Dave have got together after the show or something. Because that's always fascinating to see who shacks up with who afterwards. Will Adrian suddenly remember that Sierra exists?
Nah, I think too much time has passed now.
Who's going to pick Billy, and has he got his fish back? I'm just naming names from past participants. Will Tim arrive and just annoy everyone?
But this is an interesting question about boundaries within a relationship. Of like, what is okay? Yeah. Are friends of the opposite sex within a heterosexual couple okay?
Yeah, and it's a really awkward one as well, because it is a bit artificial, because you are unlikely to go and stay in a flat or an apartment with a member of the opposite sex when you're married.
Well, Adrian and Sierra didn't need that.
No, that's true.
But what I'm saying is that did seem to be a threat for Adrian and Athena's relationship. There's now distance, and they have come back together again.
Yeah. It does make me wonder, is there a correlation between Sierra disappearing and Adrian and Athena's relationship getting better?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Well, now that you mention it, I've thought about it, a la Dave, and maybe you're right.
Thank you.
Maybe I don't like Adrian as much as I did.
No, that's not the point. Anyway, that's the episode. We are now just waiting for the commitment ceremony.
This is the end.
No singing.
No. End.
Oh my god. And on that note...
Are you going to rate the episode? Or?
Oh, okay. Oh my god.
OMG.
Right, what did you rate this episode then?
I rated it a 3 surprising relationship gurus out of 7.
Okay, and we have quite a few surprising relationship gurus this time. Did you have any?
Adrian.
I was going to say, did you have any in mind?
It's Adrian.
Just Adrian?
Just Adrian.
Okay. I haven't rated it yet.
Well, I'm waiting for you to rate it. I'm waiting for the rating.
You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 again.
So it was the perfect episode for you. Couldn't have been better.
Yeah.
No flaws.
Nope.
Fair enough.
It had it all, Ben. It really did.
Did
Emotion, joy, pain, fun.
The utter emotional destruction of one of its participants.
Surprise twists. Really, it was all there.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough, I hear you. It wasn't for me, but yes. We are often different. We got heady in our last episode where we agreed never to be repeated. And on that note, that's all, folks.
If you have the time, we would really appreciate it if you could rate and review the podcast. Your feedback really does mean a lot to us. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Toodles.